Installation of the whiting door. Install the door cables to the door by placing the eye end of the cable through the cable anchor bracket. The cut end of the cable should be adjacent to the face of the door. Secure the cables using the clevis and cotter pins. Place a vice grip clamp firmly in the horizontal track just before the radius, about 16 inches from the header. Carry the lower half of the door into the unit face up with the brake joint facing toward the front. Tip the door slightly to pass through the rear door frame. Once inside, lower one edge so that it rests against the corner where the sidewall joins the floor. Install the rollers into each hinge location, including the bottom bracket. Be sure to place 3 spacer washers on the roller shafts at the bottom joint locations. These washers play an important role in keeping the door centered and operating smoothly. Once the first edge of the door is prepared, lift the opposite side of the door, placing the just installed rollers against the sidewall to keep them from falling out. Now finish installing the rollers on the other side of the door. Move the door section to the front of the trailer by sliding along the floor on the rollers to keep the rollers in place. Lift the lower door half into position and slide it into the back of the horizontal tracks. Roll the lower half in until it stops against the vice grips. Place another clamp behind the door half to hold it in place while you carry the upper half into the unit. Again, after installing the rollers, slide the upper half of the door into the tracks. Install the rubber track stops at the rear of each horizontal track section. Next, place 2 blocks on the rear sill for the door to rest on temporarily. Remove the vice grip clamps near the header and lower the bottom section of the door onto the blocks. Lower the section carefully, keeping your hands and fingers away from the panel joints. Remove the remaining vice grip clamp and lower the top section of the door onto the lower section. Take care to align the tongue and groove panel joints as the door halves come together. Again, be careful to avoid any potential pinch points. Fasten the halves together utilizing the step bolts provided. Be careful not to over-tighten the nut, as over-tightening may force the bolt head into the wood. Loosen the 2 set screws on the cable drum. Then feed 1 cable between the header and cable drum and insert the cable into the slot of the drum and rotate the cable drum until the cable is tight. Make sure the cable follows the grooves and does not skip grooves or wind over itself. Slide the cable drum against the bearing and tighten both set screws. It's important to note that the cable drums keep the balancer from side shifting, so they must be placed against the bearing. In order to keep tension on the cable, Place a vice grip on the balancer shaft with a handle resting against the roof sheet. Now, repeat this procedure with a cable on the other side.